this video we will be building the shopping cart. So basically it was the request from one of the subscriber. So I thought why not we should build this. So I can show you the demo. For example, we can add the product to the cart. You can see it will add the numbers 5, 6, and we have a dark theme as well. Here you can see we can toggle between them. Icon will also change. So now here you can see we added the loader as well. Whenever the products are loading, we will fetch the products. And now if I see the yes, here we have this thing as well. We can create multiple layouts, for example this layout. So here you can see we can add from here as well. You can see we have 7. Now I should go to the cart page. We have cart as well. It is taking some time, so let's see. Yes, now we have this thing as well. Here from here we can remove the products as well. The price will automatically update. So for example, if I remove one of the product, now you can see we have 86. If I remove from here, you can see now I can remove the product completely as well, instead of adding or subtracting one by one. So for example, if I say delete, so now all of the products are gone and our price is also updated. So I can come to the home page. So this is what we will be building. Basically we will use Vue, Nuxt 3, Vuetify 3 and Pinia as well. Yes, for state management we will use Pinia. So now let's come to the code part. So I have the empty folder. So in order to start, we will basically clone this repository. It's the just it's not much. It's the just the Vuetify and Nuxt Starter. We have basic setup as well. It's the public. I will I will add the link to the description, so you can follow this step as well. So I will come here and set git clone, Control Shift V, and yes, that's it. So it will here you can see we have already this thing. I can rename this thing. I can say Nuxt 3 cart. Yes, and I should next. And now I'm here. Now I have to install the different dependencies. I should say yarn. It will install basically all of the dependencies we have here in package.json file. The Nuxt, MDI font, Saas, and Vuetify. So let's wait for that. So we have to use the I think that's it. Yes, now in order to use the font awesome icon, we have to install 2 other dependencies as well. I should say yarn add. Now if I yes, it was the mistake. So we have the dev dependencies as well. So now we should also it's the last one, so we should add Pinia as well. In order to use that, I should say Pinia Nuxt. We are done with that. Now let's set up these things here in the Nuxt config file. So we have Vuetify style, Vuetify setup, MDI font. This setup is also. Now we have to add the Pinia and font awesome. So in order to do that, let's come back in .json file. I can copy this whole thing. Come Nuxt config. Here I have to say this one, and then I have to go to the CSS, then I have to go to the all.css. So that's it. So and for Pinia setup I have to say module and then Pinia modules, and I should say Pinia and Nuxt. So now hopefully all the setup will work. Let's run the project yarn dev. Now the project is running. Let's see the preview what exactly it is. So I can close this thing. So basically this is the basic setup. We can toggle between the different themes. So obviously I will remove this whole thing. So now let's come here and remove all of these things. Obviously we will build this whole thing from scratch. So let's remove this thing, and I can also remove this thing as well. Let's remove, and we have now this only simple this thing, only this thing. So now I think by default we have the dark theme, so I should remove that. Plugins Vuetify default theme, I should remove this line. So by default our theme should be light. Yes. So now let's come here, app.vue file. We should have the basic setup. I can say we will add the theme later. I should say header. Here we will have the header. So obviously I will create that component, and then I can say v main, and then I should say v container, and then we should have router view, so we can preview the different pages. So let's save that, and I should create another folder, page index.view. So I have that and let's create the index. I think first we should vbase, I can say setup, I should say here home page. Save that, and then why it is giving the error? Yes, now it's solved. I think it is rerunning. Meanwhile we can copy that and create the other folder, file cart.view. Obviously we will have this page as well. So now let's save that. I should say cart page. By the way, we can I think basically I just rerun the whole thing and it is working fine. I don't know why it was giving the error. So now let's come to the app.vue file, and we should create the header. So now let's create another folder called components, and I should say header.vue. So now let's come here. I should say vbase setup, I should say header, and in header we will have the we will use the obviously Vuetify components. So I should say v app bar, and I can come here wide, yes, v app bar, and then we will have the v toolbar title. Can close that thing. Why it is yes, 2 times. Now we have this thing, and we will simply say shopping website, and whenever I click on this thing, I should say whenever click router dot push to the home page. So that's it. And I we spacer, and then we have the links. So obviously first is VPTN. If I see the from the live link, we have this cart icon, so this is the button, so I should say VPTN. And in BTN we have the it's the class. We should add the text none, and also it is the stacked. So basically these are the Vuetify props, so that's why. And I should say we have the V badge, because for this thing it is the V badge thing, so we will add that thing as well. VBAD badge. And V badge, it has the V icon as well, icon. And our icon name is MDI and outline. So that is the part. If I see the preview, obviously we will have to use the content as well here. For example, the number. For now we will just simply add any number, then we will update that thing. And color should be the red one, so we will add error. Now if I see the preview, we have nothing here, because why? Obviously we have to use here, so I will say header. Now let's save that. So let's see the preview. Yes, this is how it is looking. Now let's add the theme thing as well. So I can come here, header, and after the badge thing I should say we have another button. Let's copy that thing, and obviously it has different icons, so I should say let's remove this thing, and I should say here this is also removed, and I will add the different condition. I should say prepend icon is equal to obviously we will use the theme. Let's say theme is equal to, if current theme is equal to light, then what do? Add MDI weather, WEA weather sunny, the sun icon, else MDI, we can copy that thing, MDI, and I should say night, the the moon icon. So after that I should say toggle theme here. So toggle theme, obviously this theme is undefined, so we can import that thing for now. Obviously we have to define this theme from the cart store. So cart store we don't have for now that, so let's for now comment this whole thing, this button. So let's comment, and we can copy. For now we will add one simple icon, so obviously we will update that. Let's uncomment this thing, and I can say for now let's the prepend icon should be the sun one. So remove this whole thing, and if I preview this now, so this is how it is looking. Obviously now we will update that once we are done with the theme. So now I think I should create the index file. Now let's come to the home page. Pages index here I can say. So for this, in order to start, we have some dummy products, so I can copy the dummy products from here so we can use. So let's come here and simply create one file, data.js. So basically we have, some array of the products. Each product have ID, name, price, image, and some description. So and at the end we are just simply exporting them. So now let's save that and come to the index. So here I should say simply import products from data. Yes. So obviously we have to add different things here as well. And here I can say const products is equal to ref products. So I think I should rename this thing. I can say this is the data. So and here bus and this thing. So products. Now we have products, and now let's create this layout as well. Another we can call const grid. This component, this variable for the different layouts. If we see the this thing, we are creating multiple layouts, so that's why. So grid by default should be the false. So now let's save that. So now we can have simple row, and then by the way it should have some margin, class my5, and then we have we call, and by default calls total columns is equal to 12. So now we have two buttons basically, vtn, one for vtn, one for grid, and I each have one icon class, and icon is mdi view list, and the other button have the basically here I should say the class dynamic class depending upon the the grid value. So if I say I will say bg primary, add this bg primary class if grid is equal to true. If grid is true, then this should be active, the mdi view list thing. So now let's copy that. Another thing, obviously whenever we click on button, we should change the grid value. So we can do this thing as well. Click grid is equal to grid, just toggle the grid value. If it is true, then do the false. If it is false, then do the true. So now let's copy this thing, and here we have to change the icon as well. I can say apps, and here I have to say if it is false. So now let's save that thing and let's preview it. So this is how it is looking. Obviously by default we should, yes, I think that's it. By the way, they should have some margin as well. So I will add the class here, class ml3. Now let's save that, and we can, yes, that's it. So let's create the another row, we call. By default calls are 12, so I should say calls is equal to 12. and then I should say v row. Now obviously here we will we will add two types of rows, one for the grid layout. If I just come here, one for the this grid layout and one for this layout. So that's why, so I should say here, by the way, by default this grid value should be true. I think that's why we are having the problems. So I should say, just simply true, and here I should say false. So now, and here I can say this row should be shown whenever the v show whenever grid is true. So within that I will call v call, and here I should say v for basically I think I should copy the whole thing from here so we can save the time. Actually I will describe exactly what I'm going. So let's come here and we can copy these products, and what exactly we copied to both of them rows. So now let's cut that this whole thing and I can paste that. So basically we have two types of rows, one for if grid is true and other one is if grid is false. So now let's see, first of all, see whenever we have this grid layout. So here basically I'm saying create the 4 on large screen. We should have 3 products per screen. On small screen we should have 2 products per screen, and by default we have 1 product per screen. So that's the thing. And then we have card. I'm just adding some margins and padding. Then we have the image, and here this thing, the template thing is just we are adding the progress bar if the basically if the image is still loading. So that's the purpose of that. And then we have some title, simple is that. And then we have product price, then we have product actions. For now we don't have this this method, so we will comment that. I just copied and control Z, and I will remove this thing so we don't face any errors. So now let's save that. So if I save this is how it will the products are looking basically. And it's there is no logic, so that's why I will move further. So now if whenever I will click here, our grid value will be changed. So this row will be shown. So if now I click on that thing, there will be this thing. So now let's describe that thing, what exactly I'm saying. By default we are dividing this whole thing 4 columns for image and 8 columns for this description thing. So that's why it has 4 columns, and these have 12, and on MD screen it has 8, and by default 12. So if I the reduce the screen, this is how it will look like. So obviously the website is fully responsive, so that's why. So now let's come here, and we have just simple image with the loader as well, and then we have simple product name, product price, product description, and this thing. Here we don't have this method as well. Obviously we will create that. Now let's create the cart page. We can come here and I can simply paste this thing from here as well. Now let's come here and I can copy that whole thing. Obviously I will describe that thing. Now let's save that. We don't have these methods. Obviously we will create that. And if I see we have now let's save that. And in order to come to this page, obviously I have to say here in header, I should say whenever I click on this the class, I should come to click a router dot push cart. Save that. Now let's click on that thing. Obviously I will face maybe I have some errors. So yes, I have a lot of errors because we don't have the content. I'm trying to show that. So now let's basically I am trying to loop through the cart information and that don't have it is not here, so that's why we are facing this error. So it will be best first I will create the Pinia store and then we can come here and I will explain what exactly going here. So now let's create the folder stores index.js. I think it should be best if I say cart.js. So we have Pinia. So what exactly it will be? So now let's come here. First of all, let's import. I will define Pinia from Pinia. And Control Z, Pinia. I should say define store. Define store, yes. Now we should have access to the products as well. Import products from data, yes. Now let's create the store. Export const use cart store is equal to define store and cart. We have state. In state we will have the two things. We should return the cart content. By default it is the empty object, and we have the theme. By default it is the light one. So we have these two things. So now let's create the function that will add the products. So let's come here and we can say actions add. Basically whenever we will add the product to the cart, obviously we will have some kind of product ID, so it will accept the product ID. So if I say if this dot cart content, I think I should fix this spelling, cart content. I can copy and cart content dot has on property. Basically this means if this product ID, the product ID, it means the if product already exists within the cart. So if it exists product ID, if product already exists in the cart, then we will do the we will just increment, not add another product. So we'll say this dot cart content product ID is equal to product ID and quantity should be this dot cart content product ID dot quantity plus 1. Just increment the its quantity, not add the whole product. If product don't exist, if there is no product, then we will add this dot cart content product ID is equal to product ID and quantity should be 1. So basically we have, whenever we will add the product to the cart, we have two use cases. First case, product already exists in the cart, and second case, product don't exist. If product don't exist, then we will simply add the product to the cart by adding just its ID and quantity, and if it exists, then we will increment the quantity of the product. Now let's in order to we can have the in order to preview this thing, how we can check that. So let's create the getter, so we can see how many products we have in the cart. I can say getters, and I can create formatted cart, and I should say return this this getter should return object. First of all, in order, instead of I should preview this thing, I should show you this thing. So now let's come here to the page index here. Instead of, basically I can use this thing, the add, now this add function. So now let's import that thing. Import from stores cart, I should say use cart store, I should say what exactly we are saying here, cart store. So I should say const cart store is equal to use cart store. Now let's save that. We can preview that if we have access to this thing or not. Yes, we have this thing. So now let's save that, and also I should uncomment this line as well. Basically here, whenever I am clicking on the add to cart button, I am just simply adding the product and passing the product ID. Now let's this thing, and if I preview this thing, I should say come to the home page. I should save this whole thing, and we should have extension here. What exactly is the error? Error during navigation. Expected identifier actions. Oh, that's strange. Oh, I think I have to add the comma here. Now let's save that, and now let's now it is working. Now in order to preview this whole thing, we can use the Vue extension, Vue dev tools. Here see we have cart. So just see, for now cart content is empty, right? Now when I click on this thing, add to cart, we have now one object here. Just see, we have its ID, and each ID, for example, this is the product ID and this is the quantity. If I add another thing, the quality should increment because it is the same product. Yes, see, if I add the another product, here you can see. So this is thing. Now we will return this thing, so we can use the within our cart page. So now let's come here. I should say return object dot keys this dot cart content. Basically this method will create the array of for example, if we have these two objects in the cart content, it will create the array of these two keys. So and then we can map through this whole thing. I should say dot map, I should say product ID, and then I should say const product is equal to this dot cart content, cart content and product ID. This is the simply product, but obviously we will not return this whole thing. We will return an object of the containing different information regarding the product ID. It is simply product dot product ID, and for image we can say image products, all of the products, right? All of the products dot find single product if p dot id is equal to product dot product id, then return that image. Basically find the product, and if p dot id product id is equal to this product's id, then return that image basically. So now let's comma, and same will be for the name as well. So we can copy that, and I should say name, and same is for price as well. So let's copy that. I can simply say price, and for quantity I can simply copy the above thing. Here I can say the quantity should be product dot quantity, and for cost, overall cost, I can say cost product dot quantity multiply by products, this the price thing. For example, if we have two this cost represent the overall price of the, for example, if within the cart we have products, but its quantities are 2, so we will multiply the price within the number of quantity. Now we'll can copy this whole thing, the price thing, and here. So now let's save that, and basically this will be redone. So now we can use this thing within the cart. So now let's come here, cart, and for that, yes, we can this thing, and instead of index.say I should say cart.js and cart store. I'm cart store dot formatted, yes, cart store dot formatted cart, yes, hopefully it will work now. We have this thing as well, mdi plus, but we don't have this remove method, so we will for now let's comment this thing and remove. We don't have this thing as well. Now let's comment this thing. So now let's save that. Hopefully our cart page now will work. Now let's come to the cart page. Let's see what exactly error we have. Cannot read properties of undefined reading. What is the cart store dot formatted cart? If I refresh this thing, it should not create the problem, because we have the yes, yeah, my cart is empty. So first we should add the again come to the home page, and I should add some products, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Now if I come to the cart page, here you can see now we have this thing, this whole thing. We can add that. For example, if I add, now we have 2. If I add this thing, we have 2. see this thing is also updating. So now let's add the other method we have. We can uncomment this thing as well. So now let's create these two methods. Let's come here. After add, we have another method. It's remove the product. I can say remove. It will be same like the above. I can say product ID should be if we don't have this dot cart content product ID, then simply we will return, because we don't have this product within the cart. So else we will say this dot cart content product ID dot quantity is equal to minus. We can simply use the shortcut. We will remove the quantity, but here after that, if this dot cart content product ID dot quantity is equal to 0. For example, if the quantity is equal to, there is no use of still showing that product within the cart. So now we will remove this product from the cart. So we will say delete this dot cart content product ID. So now we will remove this thing. Now we can create the another method for removing the whole product, instead of simply removing one by one. So I will say remove product ID. I will simply we can do this, delete this dot cart content product ID. Now let's save that. I can come to the index.cart here and I can save that thing as well. Now for example, if I delete, it should delete this thing. Now it is giving me the error. I think I have to refresh thing, because by default Pinia don't update things. So now let's refresh thing. Home page, add to cart. If I come here to the cart page, I can remove the, for example, if I remove one product, it will remove one product. For example, if I remove again, the product will be removed. Yes, because the quantity was 0. Now this thing is working, now. In order to test this thing, if I want to remove all of the products, no matter the quantity, now it is removed as well. Now it is fixed. So now we will create the more getters. So getters for this the cart total, and yes, because we don't have access to these, so we can create this getter as well. So we can have the total amount of price. So let's come here. I can say here let's create the total. So I should say total should be return object dot keys this dot cart content dot reduce. Basically reduce is the best method for adding. Obviously we will have ID, and I can say const product is equal to products dot find, and p if p dot id is equal to id. So we will have single product, and then I will return if we have the product, I should say return plus basically this number we is we can say the uh, we have to pass within the reduce method. By default it will be 0, so that's why I will say if product exists, then I should say accumulate and plus product dot price multiply by this dot cart content id dot quantity, and else we will say return. For example, if product don't exist, then we will simply return acc plus and 0. Obviously we will have to basically this thing will give us the the array of keys. Then we are applying the reduce method, and I am finding the particular product. If it exists within the cart, then I'm just getting the price of that thing and adding to the, for example, the first product price is 10. So for now the acc value is 0, so we will say 0 plus 10. Now acc value will be updated and it will be 10. So in next iteration we will find another product. For example, that product price is 20, so now acc value is 10. We will say 10 plus 20. Now acc value is 30. At the end, when we are done with the whole array, we will return 30 as the total. So that's it. Now if I save that and I add some the I should refresh this whole thing, because I add some products, and if I come to the cart page, yes, see, now we have, for example, now if I remove one of the product, see, our cart is also updating. Now we should add this this getter as well, the products total. So in order to add that thing, I can say here products total should be return object dot keys this dot cart content and reduce acc id, and then saying return acc plus this dot cart content id dot quantity. For example, if one product have 3 quantities, then we will count that should 3, not 1. So that's why we are adding the quantity, not the single product. So if if we are not considering the quantity, we can simply just return the object dot keys this dot cart content dot length. It will return just simply number of the products, not the quantity. So but we are adding the number of quantities as well, so that's why we are adding the this number. So by default acc value is 0. Now let's save that. It will give us the number of products, total number of products. So in order to use that, I should come to the header, and here instead of passing this static number, I should say cart store, use cart store dot products total. Obviously I have to, here I should say const cart store is equal to use cart store. Save that, and I should save that cart store here, and now let's save that. So hopefully for now we can refresh that thing. Obviously add, see, add. Now if I add another time, yes, see, depending upon the number of quantities, we are updating the number. So we are done with this thing as well. Now I think we have only one thing remaining, which is the theme thing. In order to edit that thing, how we can update the theme value. For example, let's by default, where is that thing? So this is the thing. See, theme is light, so we should return, first of all, let's return the theme, get theme getter, and I should say return this dot theme. Okay, and we should create the method as well. I should say toggle theme, and we'll get theme this dot theme, yes, this dot theme is equal to this dot theme if this dot theme is equal to light, then what should be this dot theme value now? Dark. Else it should be light. That's it. So now let's save that. Another thing, I think that's it. We are saying if this dot theme value currently is equal to light, then change it to the dark. Else, for example, it's not the light, it's the dark, then change that dark into light. So that's it. Now we can use this method here in header, and I should this add, and I should remove this line, and here I should add click. Whenever I click here, I should say cart store toggle theme, yes, toggle theme, call this method, and also we can use the whole theme thing within the app. So I should add here the theme should be is equal to use cart store dot get theme. Yes, theme will be this thing. Now let's save that. Hopefully it is working. Let's refresh whole thing. Yes, theme is updating. Yes, we are done with the project. We are updating the layouts. We are it's the fully responsive website. Yes, you guys can see. And if I come here, I have single product. I am updating. I can change the theme. So hopefully it was the great project. I will